Hello, my name is Shania. So I'm from Canada here and I was studying wildlife conservation, and as I was about to finish up, I decided that I really wanted to live in my van. I've been studying wildlife and nature for so long that I really wanted to be actually a part of it now. So I got this van about 6 months ago. It's a 2008 Ford Transit. Just fitting for me. Now I'm just about to start my journey here. I'm trying to make my way all the way around Australia. In the front, since I am a solo traveler, for now I kind of use this space up. So I have my hand pan, it's also a sound drum. So I do love playing music on the road as well. And then I just kind of keep an extra bit here just for all my extra bags. And yeah, of course I love aesthetics, I love design. So I kind of make it my home here with feathers that I find. I'm quite a fungi enthusiast as well, so you'll see that I have quite a lot of mushrooms around in my photographies as well. So that's kind of the front, and I just kind of keep all my fire extinguisher, all the safety stuff on this side. So why I live in the van, I would say, is definitely to reconnect better with nature. I really want to feel like I'm a part of it. I want to be able to go outside, spend most of my time outdoors. Also, just for the freedom as well. I'm quite nomadic. I find a lot of excitement from uncertainty. Every day is a new day and new things happen. So I love that, and I love having my sacred space with me at all times. Whenever I need to come back here and relax, then I can do so, but I also have the freedom to explore whenever I want. And then coming into the main compartment here, kind of hang up all my bags along here, try to utilize all the space that I can really. And then we have this countertop that kind of extends out. And this is kind of where I put all my shoes. I have my ukulele that fits in there, and then all of my cameras fit in that space. And then I also have, because there's a lot of flies in Australia, so I have actually a mesh net in here, and I can show you if you want, but it comes out here so it kind of guards it, especially during the evening, so I don't have many bugs. Except for yesterday, I had a big spider. That was one thing. I think also another benefit is being minimalist. I think that's a really big one. I find value now in just all the small things, like even just having, being able to have a mango in the morning. I feel like everything just becomes really special. I also love being really connected with the weather, I find, and what's kind of happening outside. So every morning, you have the sunset, and then, you're always connected. Okay, it's getting a bit windy. Maybe I need to stay away. There's always stuff happening. If it's raining, then like the campground, everyone's kind of like freaking out, and we're all running around trying to put our awnings up, and it's always kind of really exciting. And then same with the sunsets. Like, you just can't really get bored. Like, I really haven't had many plans. Like, I don't really plan my days, and I don't need to. My days just kind of go by with things to do, and if I don't have much to do, I'll just go and stare at the stars. Like, it's just a really nice way. So this is my little living space, and so essentially what I have here is my fridge. This is where all my clothes go, and in here is where I keep, that's the whole battery section. So I stick with an AGM 140 AH, and then I have the inverter, solar charger, all connecting up from there. And that's just my monitor there. So that's a guy that I found in Byron Bay. He installed that for me. Solar is 200 watts. So 140, 200 watts solar. And then I have the MPPT solar charger that works really well with making sure that's efficient. So I find that works quite well for me, because all I really use is the fridge. I have some of my fans, and that's the main stuff that's running. Other than that, I'm just charging up my electronics. So it's not too much. It's quite a simple setup. Everything I have kind of makes me feel at home. So I have, my little wildlife that I like. Little shells here. And again, there's another mushroom. I have all my books. I love reading, so this kind of worked for me. I just kind of stuck this to this table, and it kind of worked quite well. To be honest, I've only been living in the van for about 3 weeks now. It's still fairly new. I'd probably say you can get a little exhausted. Everything always is a task. If I'm going to go clean my dishes. So I could see over time, if I'm, working for a full day, that it could end up getting a little tiring, or if, it's a really hot day, suddenly it's, I have all the fans in my face. I feel like at the end of the day, that kind of makes me more grateful, that I, can feel this, like the fan coming in my face. And when it is getting windy, then I'm so grateful that it is. Here's my other cabinet that I have. And this is where I just keep extra clothing as well. And that's pretty much the setup for in here. If we go a little bit further in, this is my bed. So most van setups that I found, they were always extended this way and they took up so much of the van. And being a solo traveler, I just didn't see the need in a huge bed for myself. So because the Ford Transit is quite wide, it was a really nice fit. When I put these pillows away, then I can really just set out straight and I'm the perfect size for it. I have the curtains here, and especially in the morning, the sun kind of shines through it and it has a beautiful look. And then same with these back ones here. I have this orange color and the light can kind of go through these. Take it step by step. That's probably my biggest advice. People get overwhelmed with the idea of, oh gosh, like my dream is to have this van. And, you have to really just every day set aside an hour, I'd say. Just be like, okay, even if it's just gonna be watching YouTube videos of van conversions, maybe it's buying a few things online, just get excited slowly. Don't be like, oh my gosh, like this is what I want to do. How am I gonna ever achieve it? I was studying while I was doing this, and just at least in the morning, I'd spend an hour and that's all I needed. And then suddenly 4 months flew by and this all came together so quickly because of it. It's quite expensive to begin with, I'd say, with getting the battery system instead of paying, portion by portion throughout the year for your energy bills and all that, paying for rent. You kind of are putting it all in one bundle and then it gets cheaper as you go. So, especially if you are a minimalist person, once you have that bundle, then once you live in the van, it's really just food, fuel, maybe a few activities, but then it's quite cheap. So, it all depends on your approach. Like, if you convert it yourself, it'll be cheaper, but it'll take you a longer time. So for me, I did a half conversion and I actually got people from online that I found and they helped me convert this. So I was able to have this whole setup done around $3,200. And same with the van. My van was $8,500, but it had high kilometers. So there's, you got to give and take. Some people can live really cheap and buy a really cheap van, but then you might have like engine problems and stuff. So you kind of have to weigh it out a lot with it. Like same when you choose a battery, it was such a big deal trying to figure out which battery do I want. There's the lithium and then there's the AGM. So you have to do a lot of research to figure out what's best for you. Like I was like, this is only short term, about a year that I'm going to live in here. So an AGM that's not as efficient as a lithium is going to be good for me for this setup. And then of course here's a koala. I've done a lot of studies with the koala, so it's my best friend. Here we have a nice shelf that just goes where all my sweaters and pants and stuff. One realization that I did have with this setup is that I wanted this to be the bookshelf. And then I realized as I was driving, all the books were falling out really fast. So I had to switch things up, put the books here, and then stuff some clothes in there. And it still works out. This one is an outside table. I just attached this rope so that when I'm driving, it stays straight. But essentially what's gonna happen is that table is going to be an outdoor table attached to my door. Here we go. So I have these LED lights. And you can find them, and they kind of, like I can take them out and move them around. So you have one here, have one there, and then I have one also that's going to be in the back where the kitchen area is. And yeah, again with this is also probably one of my favorite parts. This came with the conversion. He put all these pieces up and makes it kind of look rustic. It looks like a cabin. I didn't like the white floors, so I've actually put in moss floor. Just taped it up at the bottom. And I found it made a huge difference to the vibe of this room here, making it feel really like a cabin. The first thing that I really learned about living in the van is that even though I'm solo, I'm very much not solo. People are constantly interacting with me and people are genuinely looking for conversations all the time. And so it's really, really refreshing. I don't feel as lonely as I used to being in a house. I feel like I was much more isolated living in a home with these walls around me, and everyone has their own little box that they stay in. And when I'm around in my van, people always want to approach and talk to me. And so I don't really get lonely, and it's been really nice to be able to have those interactions and then also grow by myself. I'm quite a spiritual person, so I've been able to enjoy journaling, playing music, getting creative, doing things that I wasn't able to do before because I've always been studying my whole life. So to be able to really enjoy my own space has been a really beautiful part of this so far. I love cooking. So that was the first thing that I needed to make sure that for the setup, I had enough kitchen space, had a good sized fridge. That was really important to me. So this was a really special part of it. So what we have here is the sink. I have a collapsible sink. This just fits perfectly in there. I was looking into getting a proper sink, and it would just take up a lot of my energy, and getting the plumbing stuff, pumps all going through, it was just gonna be too much of a hassle. I'm used to camping all the time, so I thought, you know what, if I have just a cute little thing like this that I can just wash up, that's gonna be totally fine for me. Now in the modern day, with all the type of technology, good battery systems, and good campgrounds, online support, I feel like a lot of people could do this. I think that it all depends. Like, my setup is a bit smaller. I wanted to be able to easily park around and go places really quickly. So for me, this was good. And I'm quite minimalist in a sense. So for me, this was nice. I think that, it could benefit a lot of people to really reconnect better with nature. And even if you like a lot of things, maybe you can get yourself a bigger setup, or maybe rent even a van just to try it out and see what it's like. I think a lot of people could benefit from this lifestyle, being always in touch with nature and exploring. For this here, what happens is I have the gas cylinder that kind of drops out on the ground, and he created this little hole for me so that it'll fit perfectly with the stove. And the other feature is my cutting board. So I kind of have a nice L-shaped kitchen to work with. That pops out if I need another cutting board, then I have it. And that kind of goes where all my herbs go, all my mushroom extracts for my health go in there, and anything else I need. We got the 2 shelving units. So this one kind of goes cleaning and the cutlery, extra of that. And then this one, all the food storage goes here. I got 2 of these trays. The bottom one is stuff that I don't use as often. And then this one is stuff that I use regularly, with kind of the oils and stuff on the side. I think I would say I always want to be open to any opportunities. I don't ever want to feel settled. And when I feel comfortable, for me, that's maybe not so good. I want to always feel like I'm pushing myself, stretching myself, spiritually and also physically, maybe trying to climb a mountain, always kind of get out of my comfort zone. And especially being a solo traveler, it's really easy to do that because I'm, if I was with like a couple or if I was with friends, it's just easy to be comfortable where you are in the campground. And now it's like, okay, I actually have to look around. I have to go out and, make myself happy. So for me, what I want to do with my life is I want to be able to connect better with myself, connect better with the world, and simply enjoy and be grateful. My social media page is Frolicking with Shan on Instagram, TikTok and I'm just starting my YouTube channel with it as well.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. Also, if you want to watch more alternative dwellings, we got a playlist popping up right here, and we release new episodes every single Sunday, so consider subscribing.